All right, let's talk about Patrick Mahomes and this Chiefs offense, which, has not looked as dominant as we're used to seeing. This was the offense that was the best offense in football last year, winning the Super Bowl and being able to really drive all over everybody in the playoffs. And, it's not that different personnel-wise this year. There are some differences, but it's looked a lot worse than maybe we expected through 2 weeks. So what's gone on? Is it just one of those things where it's bad couple weeks, they'll figure it out? Well, let's get into it. And maybe it's not even bad couple weeks, right? Maybe it's just the numbers haven't been there. Well, again, let's get into it. We'll start off with this play. This is a hilarious play, but also I think one worth talking about for reasons other than the silliness of it, where what's going to happen is zone coverage play. You see those two routes towards the bottom of the screen. It's Sky Moore and Travis Kelce, both trying to get into a gap in coverage on 3rd and 1 here, and on paper, it makes sense. There's only one Jacksonville player who's lined up in that area, so okay, yeah, this could easily get someone open. However, another Jaguars player, really quickly gets over there. Actually, a couple guys really quickly get over there to the point where for Mahomes, he, on paper thought that this could work. Instead, it could not. And this is just something we're seeing more and more of for Kansas City in weeks 1 and 2, which is guys aren't getting open as consistently as we saw last year. Last year, the receiving core was actively good at getting open quickly, despite the fact that preseason, a lot of people felt like it wasn't going to be great. So here, Mahomes tries to figure out something. Pressure eventually comes, and he throws it to his offensive lineman. That's the funny part there. Can't throw it to your own left tackle, and also just the way that Donovan Smith caught it and was sort of just like, what's happening? Just confused about the whole situation was very funny. Which again, I kind of understand why he did it. He was, had his head turned around. The last second sees Donovan Smith, who happened to be looking at him. Like I get it. It's just a funny sort of brain fart there. But again, it's set up because guys aren't getting open. And while it is, I think that there were specific screenshots you could take to make it look like players were actually a little bit more open. You can't see the whole field at once. So, you can't always notice that. At the end of the day, players just not getting open as consistently, and at least not getting open when Mahomes is looking in their direction. But also going over here, I do think it's fair to say I don't think Mahomes has been quite as sharp as we're used to seeing Mahomes play. I think he's only been good through 2 weeks. I guess week 1 I thought he was still Mahomes. Week 2 I thought he was good, but he wasn't Superman. He wasn't the clear-cut best player in football in week 2 against Jacksonville, in my opinion. He had some mistakes. So like this one, zone coverage play. You see how this can work, right? Get underneath the safety, but past the players covering the middle of the field. There's a little gap there. As you see, Mahomes is going to take the snap, but there's no one taking away the safety, and the safety reads this and is going to jump down and try to intercept this football. I don't know if the offense for the Chiefs has gotten a little stale, which I know it's Andy Reid, so we assume it's not the case, but has happened before if Andy Reid offenses that teams have started to catch on. Maybe that's happening here too, because this is what should be an interception. As you see, can't quite make that play. Maybe saying should be an interception is a bit harsh, but easily could have been an interception. If I'm a PFF grader, I'm counting that one as a turnover-worthy play. That was an error by Mahomes. He should have seen the safety, and usually he does. And also like some of these plays, which aren't exactly like that, but just like not quite as sharp as we're used to seeing from Mahomes and from Kelce. Kelce comes back from an injury and doesn't look like Travis Kelce just yet. He just doesn't, which is a good thing, kind of, if you're a Chiefs fan, right? Because you're going to assume he will eventually get back to being that elite tight end that we know he can be. At the same time, though, I guess, he isn't getting any younger. Maybe you're a little worried that he could potentially, have some sort of lingering effects from the injury. But let's hope that's not the case, and just it's going to take him a little bit to get fully healthy. This play, though, one-on-one matchup, something that you expect Kelce to win. You just do. Watch as Mahomes takes the snap. He's going to look in Kelce's direction, and there's a window. For sure, there is a window. So, again, even if it's not the biggest window, you just expect Kelce and Mahomes to hit these situations. But this time the throw's a little bit behind and it ends up getting knocked away. That was, I would probably put more of that blame on Mahomes personally than on Kelce. But at the end of the day, that duo usually makes that play. This time they didn't. I'm going to assume in the future they're going to make these plays, but just this is why the offense hasn't looked quite as good, in my opinion. Like this one's another one where what's going to happen is zone coverage play. You have a receiver. It's going to be Marquez Valdes-Scantling, who's running a deeper route over the middle. So, get past the linebackers covering over the middle. Could be a window to make the throw underneath the safety. Okay, cool. Let's see how it plays out. Mahomes is going to take the snap right here. He runs the play action. And again, there's a window here, right? For sure. This is an opportunity to make this play. However, Mahomes' throw is low and that gets batted up. That could have easily been intercepted. I mean, those are dangerous in zone coverage plays. You know, a lot of times why teams do get more interceptions in zone than in man is because if you can't fit it through those tight windows, really bad things can happen. And usually Mahomes is so good at fitting it through those tight windows that those good things, you know, always happen for the offense, not for the defense. But here, when things were starting to slide a little bit, I think it's, you know, in fact, kind of a little lucky that Mahomes didn't, you know, have a couple of turnovers added to his box score in this one. Now, going over here, again, it goes without saying. I think that if any Chiefs fan is upset, it goes without saying Mahomes is the best player in the world. Mahomes is great. Mahomes can do some awesome stuff. Even in what I would consider a bad Mahomes game, it's still a good game by a lot of quarterback standards. I don't know, you know, his biggest flops are your greatest hits kind of thing. What's going to happen on this one? One-on-one matchup on the outside with Sky Moore. So, again, Sky Moore, it's not like we're talking about, you know, Megatron here, but still, you know, I don't want to make it seem like Sky Moore can't make a play either. Watch out. It's low snap, but that doesn't really faze Mahomes. He's quickly getting it over to Moore, but not only is he getting it over, he reads the play so well, despite the fact that he had to adjust to the snap and get rid of the ball immediately. He recognizes a back shoulder throw is the correct play here. I mean, that's really difficult to do. It's hard to recognize it just period, but when you add on how quick the throw was and the lower snap that kind of disrupted things a little bit more, the fact that he still is able to get this ball to Moore is really impressive. As you see, really good catch there. That penalty was on the defense and declined, so touchdown stood there. You know, Mahomes made some really good throws. He did. He absolutely made some really good throws. I'm focusing on the negatives because we expect Mahomes to make some good throws, and in fact, for Mahomes' standards, just making some good throws is usually not what we expect from him. So, was this a bad performance? No. This was a good quarterback game. But as of right now, the Chiefs aren't going to win a Super Bowl, I don't think, although their defense is great now, so maybe they would. But I'm not expecting the Chiefs to win the Super Bowl this season by playing good offense, right? Or even like mediocre offense, which might be a more accurate depiction of what's going on right now. I'm expecting them to win a Super Bowl by playing great offense. That's what I'm expecting, and the offense isn't at that level right now. Who do you want to blame? Do you want to blame the addition of the new tackles? I don't know. Maybe you could do that. But Jawan Taylor and Donovan Smith have been, you know, for the most part fine in pass protection. They can't run block, but, you know, I don't think the Chiefs care about that too much. You know, do you want to blame the lack of receivers? That's probably what I would do. And again, it's kind of one of those things where a lot of these players were here last year. It was a pretty similar group. Yes, they have lost some players, but, you know, I don't think Juju Smith-Schuster was like what was holding this whole team together. I think Travis Kelce was, and he just isn't back to being Travis Kelce just yet. And I think that's easily the biggest difference maker. And I think Mahomes had a bit of an off day from his standards. I think those things combined allowed Jacksonville to get back in it. And also, I got to give credit to the team that we're talking about the Chiefs playing against. Jacksonville has a really underrated coverage unit, and I think they showed it in this game. They can cover very well, and it might just be as simply as, you know, when you don't have a fully 100% Travis Kelce and you're playing against a good defense, maybe you're only going to score 14 points every now and then, and even with that, apparently the Chiefs' defense is awesome, so they're still able to win the football game. But yeah, interesting stuff. That's what I think of all this. What do you think? Let me know in the comments below. Always love hearing from you, and of course, as always, thanks for watching. Also, I said 14 points, 17 points, but, you know, same idea. Anyway, bye.